Hello amphibian lovers, it's AmphibianBoss here, and today I'm going to be doing a video on American green tree frog care. Now first I'd like to explain these frogs a little bit. There's two types of tree frogs that are green tree frogs that are commonly in the trade. There's the Australian green tree frog, which kind of resembles, and actually is the white tree frog. Kind of resemblance there. And then there's the American green tree frog, which is the most common in the pet trade and is commonly found in the southern United States, hence the name American green tree frog. They're mild temperatures they like to keep it at, so around 75 to 80 degrees, and they like it a little bit humid since they do live in some areas in the south that are a little bit more hot and humid. So first off, housing. I would suggest keeping at least one in a 10-gallon tank. You can keep two in a 10-gallon. I started them off in a 10-gallon, and then for Christmas I upgraded to this 12 by 12 by 18. So there's 12 long, 12 wide, and 18 height. This is good for 2 to 3 tree frogs. 3 is kind of pushing it. I keep 2 in here. 2 is great. These terrariums are great because they're easy accessible. You can open them up like this with these glass doors. You don't have to open up a lid or anything, put the lid anywhere. They're just right there. Easy to close. They're locking just in case you have something that escapes. These guys can't really escape well unless you have holes in the top. The top lid usually you don't use a lot, but that you could be used to put things inside of the tank that are a little bit larger, like this piece of wood here, and then on top I have a light that I'll show you in the lighting section. So that's basically what you need for housing. I would suggest having a substrate of dirt or your water setup. I kept them in a semi-aquatic setup with a filter and stuff to bring the humidity up. Humidity isn't a big thing with these guys. Less humidity, more heat, so around 75-80 degrees, and humidity around 50 to 60%. At the moment it's at 80%, and the temperature is at around 72, so it's a little bit cooler, but it's during the daytime. It actually does get a little bit cooler at nighttime, and they come out. They really like this temperature. I suggest having a dirt substrate and some little land areas for them to sit on. Now this is a pretty elaborate setup I have here. It doesn't have to be too difficult and not as elaborate as mine. You can possibly keep them on paper towel and things like that. But I have dirt, a drainage layer. I would also suggest having a large water dish that they can soak in. I have a water dish here, and I have a flower pot down there that I glued the hole in the bottom in so the water can't leak. This is for humidity. That's for humidity and soaking. They'll soak inside of that. And other than humidity, just having a water dish for them to soak and swim in is great. And they usually don't swim, they do soak in a water dish. Having lots of plants and places for them to hide behind. They hide in the cracks of these rocks in the background. As I made this background, it's pretty elaborate. You don't have to do this. Some plants and places for them to hide during the day. They are nocturnal, so they do come out in the night and sleep during the day. So having some nice places for them to hide is great. Now let's move on to heating and lighting. Like I said, keep it around 70, 75 to 80 degrees. If it gets over that, it's okay, but they can kind of get really stressed out if it gets too hot. At the moment, I have it around 72 to 74 degrees, so it's in between 70 and 74 degrees, so it's a little bit better. This is a good temperature for them, and I just sprayed it down, and the humidity in there is 80 degrees. Heating and lighting, a good heat source and a good heat lamp are always great. Right, I have right now is just the white lights. That's pretty bright there. Having a white light just gives them the day and night cycle that they need. And on the side here, you may not be able to see, but I have a Zoomed small heat mat on the side there, and they actually like to hide there and sleep during the day and get some heat, and then at night they usually come out and feed and whatnot, and I just have that taped to the side. So like I said, to keep it around 70 and 80 degrees and the humidity between 50 and 100%. And when you're spraying down your tank to get the humidity up, best thing to do, instead of spraying everything, spray everything and then really spritz down or spray the soil, and all that water will mix with the soil, and not to make it really damp like mud, but damp enough that it'll hold the humidity, and that'll hold the humidity for much longer than just spraying around the entire terrarium. Now for feeding. Tree frogs are very opportunistic when it comes to lots of insects. They'll eat almost any kind of insect. They usually go by movement, but you can train them on dishes. To the left I have a water dish. To the right I have a food dish. I put mealworms in there. I find that they are the best dishes to put mealworms in, because usually they don't escape from those because the angles on them are very steep. I'll show you some mealworms while I am near them and talking about them. These are mealworms. I don't breed them at the moment, but where I work we breed them. They're about a good size. I gut load them. I usually give them 2 a day. So, and I calcium dust them also. Giving them a variety of food is the best thing to do. You don't want to just leave them on mealworms because that can get them sick. So once in a while I will give them some crickets in there, some medium-sized crickets, because these frogs don't get very big. And I'll see if I can pull one out for you to show you at the end of the video. They don't get very big, so you want some medium-sized crickets or small crickets. That'll work too. You can feed them other worms such as wax worms, which I feed them. If you can find super worms that are small enough, you can do that. But, the best is just things you can usually get a hold of. But they'll basically eat any insect that you can get a hold of at the pet store. Okay, sorry guys, I wasn't able to get a tree frog out for you guys to show it to you, but here are some pictures. I hope you guys enjoyed my video and learned how to care for some green tree frogs, and I hope you pick up some green tree frogs and keep them as pets sometime in the future. They're great pets. And as always, thanks for watching guys, and peace.